It frustrates me when I look at like the MTS Center, for instance. You know, you pack it up one day, it's a hockey game, but then now you actually change every seat to a First Nations kid, filling those seats, and that's roughly about the amount of First Nations kids who are in care today, just in this province alone. My name is Jason Burnstick. I'm from the Cree Nation. Apart from some of the work that I do in Restore Justice with Onashawewin and youth facilitator at Just TV, I'm also a musician, and I have been pretty much for all my life. I'm here to talk a little bit about the effects of residential schools and the time I spent in care. A lot of people don't know about what residential schools were, and that's a very significant part about Canadian history.
I don't know much about the TRC, but I do know that in residential schools they took the Aboriginal people, like their kids from their family.
My grandfather would sit with me and talk about residential school, and he pretty much told me it completely broke him.
When I was in care from day one, there was no sign of my culture anywhere. There was no sign of my language anywhere. When I first went to care, actually, my mom told me that I understood and spoke nothing but Cree, so I can't imagine, you know, what it was like for me as a kid, like being really young, being taken into a home that only spoke English. I felt really alone in the foster homes and in this residential school. There was no like love there at a time when there really should have been. And there was no understanding of who I was as a First Nations person. There was no language, there was no culture, there was no song. Yeah, well this one's a little harder. One of the probably most significant parts about my experience in care, being in CFS, was the thing that I learned about violence. I didn't have any thought process in terms of, I'm gonna fight now. It wasn't like that at all. It was just like, it was instantaneous. It was just like a switch that went off. As soon as I became angry, that's how I reacted. I ended up going to see an elder about my experiences in care and the abuses that I experienced. And I also started talking to him about the people that I hurt and the fights that I got into. And he said very blatantly, and it surprised me, it caught me off guard, but he just says, you know what, man, you're a f***ing coward. That's what you are. Because everything you're doing right now, you're hurting people because you have hurt. So you have this free pass to hurt whoever you want, but that's a coward's life because you're not taking any responsibility for your own actions.
The thing that Jason said that impacted me was when he was talking to the elder. He called him an effing coward.
He said the elder told him to be more responsible. I relate to that because I'm getting older now and I'm not really taking much responsibility.
The system needs to be accountable for how they're taking kids away. And I think some kids are being removed when they shouldn't.
I'd suggest not really splitting up family members.
The government needs to take responsibility for what they did.
Culture is, you know, probably one of the most important things that we have. So don't lose that. You know, take every opportunity from wherever it is you're from, wherever your family is from, to learn about that. Because it's who you are.
There's nothing that I can do about the past, but there's something that we can do about the future.